Alright, what's up everybody? Rainy day here in Erfurt. I know it's weird, but this is ETS 2. We're playing it. So we got the parking brake off now because the SKRS doesn't support what I need. I have to use an automatic. And since we are in Erfurt, let's check out the job market. Because now look, we have cargo market. Because hey, trailer ownership came. We got to make some money with my hideous green truck here. So let's see what's going to make the most. Hanover to Polo. That's a long ass trip there. We can go to Lehman's. Le Mans. I need to figure out what's coming out of Hanover though. What do we want to take? The most expensive load, I guess we're going to Poland with it. Pressure tank. So let's go get our load. So weird driving with an automatic. Wait a minute. What the fuck is, we're in Erfurt. Ah, that might help because we were clicked on the wrong fucking thing. Where's this one going to? Slovakia. We'll go there instead. Can't see. All I can see is my hideous ass green truck. And its hideous automatic transmission. I already see one thing we have to do too. We need to bring our field of view back just a little bit so I can see all that. Everything else looks good. I hate driving an automatic so bad. Why does it keep throwing itself in the neutral? Oh, because every time it comes off, I'll throw it in the neutral. Let's go get our load. In the hideous green machine. Because we gotta get money to buy ourselves a trailer. Okay, so this thing does have Jake brake. I think. Lined up under this bad boy and get underway. Our beacon on for safety, hazards are off, let's go. First load as a owner operator. Knew that was gonna happen. I'm used to hauling those big ass trailers that turn for you. This is not one of those. Oh, check it out, they actually added another thing too. They added the amount of cargo damage. That's pretty badass. I'm digging that. Thing does have kind of a goofy ass horn though. Kind of like the grumbles at this, I guess it's a V8 in this Mercedes. Does sound pretty good. And check it out, why is it that on ETS, I can get over 100 frames streaming? Oh shit, that was a red light, but we stopped as it turned green. Haha! Anyway, that's cool they added trailer damage and cargo, well, cargo damage rather. So tempted to put on BBC News. I'm gonna try it. I like listening to talk radio.
And visitor numbers, you know, from the UK have really gone up. But I think the last thing
Surely I can't get a copyright strike for something that doesn't have fucking music in it. It's talk radio.
Just today, you know, the exchange rate got
Good God, that car just whizzed by.
because of course something hit more changeable weather in the UK in the last
So what we got? We've got 462 miles.
Editor-in-chief of the travel magazine Wanderlust. I call it Wanderlust. That was the old Swedish of me coming out from home.
Hey, I remember this dude.
Speech up all night is Michael Kaloki in Nairobi. Good morning, Michael.
Oh, that's badass.
So what are these demolitions that are underway in Nairobi?
Demolitions here in the city.
They had friggin' animated
tearing into buildings in a number of
animated people at that
buildings and
random road event.
Are among the 4,000 or so buildings targeted for demolition. Now this is part of an operation to clear the city of illegal structures built along riverbanks here in Nairobi. The country's environmental agency, it's called the National Environment Management Authority, or NEMA, has said that these structures that are close to the Nairobi River are
what's
to be
more
cleared
fitting?
for environmental reasons.
Playing
Over the years,
ETS2, listening
I
to
should say, there's been an ongoing
BBC
discussion
Live
among
5.
some here in the city about buildings that have been built on riparian areas, and these riparian areas or lands generally
Full
refers
immersion.
to areas bordering natural channels or depressions in which water flows. That's the technical description there. And some environmentalists have noted that encroachment of these areas by developers has obstructed the water courses and posed a risk to the habitat in the area.
Look, there's another one over
So
there.
NEMA says that buildings along
Whoa.
these
I gotta
riverbanks
lose his
will
load or
be
something?
demolished. It has also indicated that other areas to be cleared are areas that have been earmarked for public utilities.
So
and
hopefully with
these
this load, this will push me over to level 12 and I can buy a different trailer, but from what I've looked at so far in the trailer salon,
note, though, that there was an interesting
I can buy a flatbed, I can buy two different types of flatbeds, I can buy I think two different types of dry vans.
Was demolishing actually collapsed onto his excavator.
I really want to try out
but I should note that the demolitions
running my own trailer.
The story from Burundi is an interesting one. I wish I'd had a teacher like that when I was at school.
Well, Dotton, I don't know if that is a good thing, but let me tell you a bit about this story. A head teacher in Burundi has been arrested for trying to disguise himself as a student and sit a national exam on another person's behalf. So police officers burst into this exam room where the head teacher, a gentleman called Benjamin Manarimpona, was taking his test, and the police indicated that they had been tipped off. When Mr. Manirambona was arrested, he explained that he was taking the electronics exam on behalf of a soldier, a Burundian soldier, who he said was serving in Somalia as part of the Burundian peacekeeping force. Now, some have asked as to why the head teacher was
I can
not
tell I got a
spotted
low-power
taking this
motor.
exam. Now, students in Burundi who are taking this particular exam were required to take
Making
the
do with
exam
what I
at
got,
a
though.
different center than their regular learning facility. So some have said that might explain why the head teacher was not recognized by those monitoring the exam in this particular center.
Did he pass or not?
Well, we have not received the results so far, but I should think that having been found by the police the exam was his exam that he was
Right.
taking was probably cancelled.
Yeah, of course. You know, I get that. But it would be interesting to know what mark you'd have got if it was legit. You know, whether the headmaster is smarter than a 9-year-old, for example.
Well, I should note, Dotton, that this incident is not the only one of its kind that I've heard about in the recent
Okay, so
past.
there's
In
not
the
fuel
world, also in
gauge
Kenya.
off to
It's
the
common
left.
occurrence.
Kenya, well, I shouldn't say it's common, but in Kenya there have been occurrences whereby people have been found taking exams of others. I remember when I was sitting my fourth form exam, that this was something at the time the government had warned about, that if you sit for someone else's exam, you face severe
What's up, Miles?
consequences. And this is because I think it was the year before I sat my exam. I will not tell you what year that was, but
Did you
there
pass?
had been a situation. Well, I think
Then-
did I
never
use a
mind that.
B-
Let's go on
a
with the
B
story.
minus was okay,
Yeah,
but
okay.
yeah, there we go. I don't think my dad was too pleased, but well, the year before that,
Be interesting to see
number
once
of
I can get my
people
own trailer, what kind of logo
various
I can put
exam
on it.
centers sitting exams for other people. And I remember this is a discussion I had with my mates when I was in the fourth form as to, why would you do that? And well, I should note that I remember one of my mates, he said, but in some situations, there's pressure to pass the
Starting to
exam,
run like a
say,
bastard
from
again.
parents. And if you feel that you're not going to be able to get to the mark, then maybe you should pay someone. I should say that a lot of us didn't agree with him, but he felt that sometimes these things happen.
I love how the
because
truck
of
speed limits
pressure
are
from
so
parents and
much
society
slower than the
for people
cars.
to pass exams. Anyway, that was his take. But I should say,
I feel like I'm driving a turd. Oh, Millsped, Burkham. I wonder if all those are going to be logos that I can stick on a container. Well, on a container. Well, that is an option. You can buy a C-can. Flatbed that I saw. The other ones are still locked because obviously you got to be higher levels to buy them.
Only in East Africa. Michael Cloakey there.
Badass to
in
buy
Nairobi.
like
Let's
a
get
low
some
boy or
US
something
headlines
and
now
see what you could do with
Bobby
it.
Olson from the Huffington Post. Hello, Bobby. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. Now, it's been confirmed that the Texas tent city housing migrant children is not going to.
Turn the radio down just a tad.
That's right. This tent city is like a military encampment of large tents that have buried migrant monks in them.
So we're going to head towards Dresden.
It was supposed to close. Actually, it was open in June. It was supposed to initially close in July. It was supposed to be just temporary. And then it was going to close August 13th. So our reporter, Dana Leibison, checked, and it turned out they're extending the contract for another 30 days, which is curious because the Trump administration has supposedly been working on reunifying these separated children with their families, and the teenage boys
This is
that are
fun.
housed in this tent city, apparently their numbers have not been called enough that they feel comfortable closing the temporary facility. So
Come on,
it's
guys, you
going
gotta
to
get by,
remain
I gotta get
open.
over.
It's sort of become a symbol of the chaos of this zero tolerance immigration policy, and there doesn't seem to be any
Now that they've implemented this into ETS2, I wonder how long it is before we get it in ATS.
either reunited with their parents or placed with sponsors who might be family members or people who can take care of them.
Is it still as big a story?
Unfortunately, it is because the horror for a lot of people has been the images of these children in chain link enclosures and separated from their families, while children being taken into court in anti-immigration courts without.
Yeah, maybe my motor's a little bit more grunt than I thought.
And these detention centers have become a symbol of the growth of this issue. And we're not really seeing a slowdown of immigration across the border, so it doesn't seem to have had a deterrent effect.
Airbnb wants to ban
Alright, so we are in new territory. Never been this way before.
History of what they call the United
Unleashed onto the world as a owner-operator in a Mercedes.
white nationalist rally of several groups who came together in Charlottesville, and it
Used to everything being 56.
and a lot of people were injured, and one of the white
That speed limit sign is at 110. Now 80. Oddly, it feels like I've been through here before, but I haven't. Great way to start an owner-operator career. First load in the pouring ass rain. I swear I've been down here before. I remember that bridge. Unless there's more than one of them. The route advisor doesn't lie though. I have not discovered these sections of road, so maybe I'm living in an alternate world. So I think I had like 220,000 euro before I bought this truck.
So the SUV crashed.
Maxed it as much as I could.
And a couple of the people got out and started running.
And we
one
have
woman ran into a
just under
house.
17,000 euro left.
And I guess she thought she could get away from the police, but she couldn't get away from the cows. The cows
Euro, pound, whatever.
running through
I know it's the euro.
They're
It's.
following her and chasing her.
I wish they would put like
Apparently Miss
American currency in, but that kind of would defeat the point of it being Euro truck. But yeah. Especially now that I've got my own truck, I'm gonna not drive it like an asshole like I was with all the other ones. I'm making a... coming into a city or something there?
BBC News on 5 Live, as Lisa
Yes,
McCall.
we are. Praha.
Persons died in an explosion at a military hardware factory in Salisbury. A fire broke out in the building where flares are made at the Kemley countermeasures planned last night. Another
Fuck, it's a
person in
roundabout,
critical
too.
condition. Staff at House Fraser are waiting to find out what the purchase of the business by Mike Astley will mean for them. He bought the chain just hours after it entered administration for £19 million. Says he'll keep open as many of its 59 stores as possible. Catherine Shuttleworth is a retail analyst.
Look him all over, and he is quite a nice character. He does get people in the store, he knows how to get people in the shop. So I think he sees something in that, and he'll be going through those now ruthlessly to work out which ones he wants to stay in and which ones are going to make him the most money.
The American agrochemical company Monsanto has been ordered to pay more than $285 million in damages for a man who claims his cancer was caused by using the
Fuck, why'd you stop, car? He still could have gone.
First of more than 5,000 civil lawsuits, the company says in the appeal. A man pleaded guilty to plotting a terror attack in central London. 26-year-old Lewis London had hoped to kill up to 100 people by hiring vandals or pedestrians. Our Home Affairs correspondent is Daniel Sanders.
Get over before this guy gets pissed off behind me.
Howard recorded a YouTube video saying that he'd once been a Nazi but had converted to Islam after Muslims had been friendly to him online after a bereavement.
4 people, including 2 police officers, have been killed in a shooting in the Canadian town of Fredericton. Shane Fowler is a reporter for CBC New Brunswick.
One man is in custody with serious injuries. We don't know if those are self-inflicted injuries. Police injured him. He was shot, but he is in the city's only hospital right now, undergoing treatment.
So weird following the speed limits and shit.
Including a pregnant woman and child who were rescued from a fishing boat off Kent.
The one thing I don't like is these damn roundabouts.
In Harbour. 2 British men on board have been arrested. Donald Trump has doubled US tariffs on Chinese steel and aluminium because of what he says is a weak currency and poor relations with the country.
Yay, discover a Renault
Release of
dealer.
An American pastor who's been held on suspicion of terror and espionage. Our correspondent in Washington is Gary O'Donoghue.
I'm gonna stop closer so I can actually see the damn thing.
America's refusal to deport an Islamic preacher here, who the Turks blame, President Erdogan blames, for sort of stirring about the
And young
Not gonna lie, I really kind of like this V8 sound. Can't deny that the European V8s have some fucking power. Oh, speeding. Can the rain end, please? As on cue.
3 metre sprint synchro. James Anderson took 5 for 20 as he was bowling around 7 in the rain affecting the second day of the second test at Lords. Somerset, Lancashire, Durham, Oxford, and Morgan were all wins in the T20 last. Bad weather has brought an early end to day 2 of the PGA Championship. American Gary Woodland, second round 66.
We're just gonna truck along. Sorry, car.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital.
We gotta keep going this way.
And look at the weather forecast. It's going to be cloudy and wet across the southwest of England on Saturday. That will spread into Wales and Northern Ireland later. Elsewhere, it's going to be dry with some sunny spells and highs of 21 in London and 20 in Manchester.
More live Premier League football than anyone else. The Premier League is back. Later today, it's Newcastle against Spurs. Kickoffs at 12:30. Then from 3, Fulham take on Crystal Palace. This is 5 Live.
The crap is it playing?
Real Sounds of Africa to once again kick off our World Football Fund. And this morning we're talking football in Africa and in South America, and players from over there playing in our leagues as we kick off a new season of Premier League football over here. So as ever, the legend Dino Tim Hickley is with us back in his home of Rio
Come on, baby, climb. You can do it.
You learn how to say his name. And the Oracle of African football is out on this with us, our Springbok Junior. Mark Gleeson, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, well, during winter time, so it should be cold. Let's face it, we've got to even things up. And you are in Cape Town, obviously. If it's cold, you're in Cape Town, obviously.
We should bump us up to
So we're talking
56.
football in Africa and football in South America. Here's one on African football for you straight away. It's a long one, so put your feet up whilst I read this out. From Adam in Wolverhampton, I'll be in Kigali in September and hope to get to the
One thing I've
African
always
Cup
loved about ATS2 is the scenery. So much better than ATS. Like, what you'd have to do in ATS to get the level of detail that's in ETS2 vanilla, without any graphics mods, without any map mods or anything, you'd have to throw a bunch of shit at the wall just to get it to look as good as this does. And the sheer size of where you can go. Now, of course, this game has been around since 2012 versus ATS that's only been out since 2016, but still, you figure in the 2 years, they'd be a little bit further than Arizona and New Mexico. You'd figure Oregon would already be done. You figured we'd have a few more states. Now, granted, yes, the modding community does a great job with the maps for ATS. Still fails in comparison to just this vanilla map of ETS2. And this is coming from somebody with over 1,200 hours in ATS.
But I think it's a really fabulous just try to go and watch for your first time in African football. I think you'll find a very decent atmosphere in Kigali. The locals will be hopeful, perhaps not confident, but certainly hopeful that some sort of result, 5-9.
We should be able to buy our own trailer by the time we get this load done, but I don't know if I want to get stuck with a flatbed. I'll have to see what the cargo markets are, because some of them I might have to drive all over the place just to get a load. You never know.
No big names from Europe, a handful from the second division of Belgium, but for the rest, drawn from local clubs.
Here's another long one, this time on South American football team from Christopher. This is tomorrow we go to the Clásico Limeño. The two biggest teams in Peru go head-to-head in Lima, LAU versus Alianza. The game is being played at the National Stadium and has been labelled the Derby for Peace, to try and clean up the reputation of football here. When I went last season, the stadium was
You
half
can't text and drive, so you got to be safe.
for the derby in La U's stadium. A lot of people said they don't go anymore because of the violence. They said the same in Colombia, listing European teams as their teams when asked who they supported. The question, therefore, is how successful are these initiatives to combat football violence? I've been in South America for 5 years now and had the discussion many a time, the difference between hooligans in Europe and the Barra Brava of Latin America. Would love Tim's insight into this.
Yeah, and the efforts in South America are not particularly successful, and the fear of violence in big derby games is clearly, and the fear of violence generally keeps people at home, and for big derby games,
all right, let's get back to driving here.
That happens across the continent. Why are the efforts of the authorities not so successful? Well, for reasons of society and for reasons of football. In terms of society, you're dealing with places where large swathes of the population are not really.
Listen, I think lugging.
It's a bit like England, you know, Britain.
It's the only thing I don't like about an automatic. I wish the SKRS worked as a Volvo, or I think it's a Volvo 14-speed or something. It does, but it's a pain in the ass.
Particularly seriously, the reason inside football comes from the way.
Therefore, we run simple or real automatic, not simple. Simple sucks.
The president is an elected position. Now that means that you have ceaseless politics going on inside the clubs.
Oh my God.
Which in turn means that these organised gangs of hooligans are very useful to club directors. If you've got to rent a mob that you can hire to support you and intimidate the opposition, now that's very, very interesting to have in the club's internal politics. So you often question, is there really the political will to deal with the problem of football violence? I mean, these groups of organised thugs, in many cases across South America, they receive free tickets from the club directors. They have their travel costs paid by club directors. So it's a kind of cancer which is inside the game, which is very, very different from the hooligan problem when it was at its worst in our country in the 70s and 80s. And then I remember from the FA, the famous phrase that the FA president said to Margaret Thatcher, "Get your hooligans out of our football grounds." And certainly the English club, Britain clubs were guilty of certain things.
They just needed an ER on that and be wiener.
And the problem has been fostered by South American club directors. And all of these things, the things of the dynamic of both of society and of football, make us a very, very
talking football in Africa and South America and players from over there playing in our leagues. If you'd like to join in, give us a call on 08085 909 693. It's 08085909693. You can text us on 85058, email upallnight@bbc.co.uk. I've got a question for both of you from Chris in Sheffield, who says, 2 decades ago, football was awash with player managers, but they've completely disappeared now. With the emergence of young managers and the importance of social relations between individuals, I would expect to see some player managers in modern football. Is this a result of mandatory coaching badges, or is this symbolic of wider changes in football and the greater workload?
Come on, guys, let me over, please.
I think the emergence of the young manager
Jerk off. No, you're not going. Do you not know what an indicator is? That's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind rocking that on the side of my trailer. Trans-Alliance. We got a 4-wheeler stuck in between 2 trucks. Sorry, lorries. Can I pass this guy? Nope, he's gonna smoke me. So now I'm gonna piss everybody off here unless I can get over. Let me filter in here. Alright, now everybody can go around the proper way. It's almost got a beat to it. Weird that it's staying pegged at 1511th instead of going to A12. Well, there's the good sign. We're seeing signs for Poland, even though that's not where we're going. And we're going to, where the fuck are we going? That place. Be interesting though once we get some money in and see what kind of trailers we can buy. Is that a cell tower? Yes, it is.
Friday night as it is now in the Premier League.
Mark, I don't mean to be funny or anything, but from my experience of playing five-a-side with, arguably United and Nigerian lot, I suppose the problem in Africa would be that the coach would always pick himself first. He'd be the first person on the No, on a serious note, you know what I'm saying? Can you imagine a situation where the manager wouldn't pick himself first?
It's a good point, but to be honest, I remember in the late 90s, the player manager was actually quite a reluctant performer on the field. He was suited up and ready, and usually amongst the list of substitutes. But who is the last great player manager anyway? Football, probably Kenny Dalglish during his days.
Text me on 85858 or email upfront@bbc.co.uk. It'll be a fascinating one, won't it? And this is in world football, not just the zone. That's some good ones, don't you? Pick up the phone and tell us your favourite ones. 5 9 We've got good transfer window, and apparently their 2019 squad looks exactly the same as their 2017 squad.
Mentally as well, not really. I don't think he's going to be overawed by it, and he'll just solve you problems.
Sounds a little bit like Cazorla.
Well, he's less talented on the ball than Cazorla, but more defensively solid. But he's not just a ball winner. He's also someone who can contribute further down with the play. He's a very versatile midfielder, very dynamic, can really cover ground. And I think he's exactly the kind of player who was lacking perhaps in those last years of the Wenger reign. A defensive midfielder with some real bite to him and some real dynamism and a tough little character. And I'm expecting him to be a very, very good signing for Arsenal.
Oh, great. Pretty great. Yeah, thanks for your expertise, Tim, as usual.
Well, if I'm right or if I'm wrong, come back and tell me. But give him a few months. Let's not do it. Let's follow you on that. I'll be watching.
I don't know. Someone else, some other Tottenham fan, posted on social media. I compared it with the Arsenal prices as well. But the socks, shorts, and the top of the Arsenal cost me £96. Really? I won't pay that. £160.
Well, just as well had a shirt bought from came back in December 20 years ago. That's not going to be replaced by anything.
Tell you what, when I go to the gym, I see some bloke wearing a Nigeria World Cup football shirt. There you go. It looks brilliant on it as well, you know. It looks absolutely brilliant on it. Standing behind it, this is just crazy. They're wearing the Thanks, Michael. This from Michael, another Michael in Eccles, who says, Tim and Mark, you started the league season last night.
I really like this river we're following here. It almost looks like what we saw in one of the drive-alongs with SCS in Oregon. That was pretty. That's what it reminded me of there. We got 21 miles to go.
Irrespective of who owns the
And
psyche or the aura
a red light.
has an impact on the football.
Dude, that river is friggin' awesome looking. Don't shift, don't shift, don't shift, don't shift. Ah, thank you. Fuck, they want this as an easy spot. First load delivered successfully with no damage.
The playing surface, and that has a very positive benefit for domestic football.
I suspect, Jim, that the way that the National Stadium impacts on football and football fans is dependent upon the success that you've had there. You know, the old Wembley, at least, if not this.
Right, well, we got 39,000 euro.
Magic, because you expected the England team to win, to revisit their most famous moment in 1966.
But Curtains Rider.
And you know, that did replicate. You know,
we've unlocked the dry freighter
at Wembley. Whether it was in the FA Cup final, League Cup final, or whatever, it had a kind of like a magic.
Oh shit! Curtainside double, insulated double, refrigerated double, dry freight B double.
Yeah, it still has that magic as far as I'm concerned. Even though, you know, when you go, you're kind of perched up on a hill with a lovely view of kind of northwest London, which is not the city at its most picturesque, is it? No. Perhaps, but it's still, you know.
We have to do another load.
Yeah, in this, amid this banality, there's still a magic there for me, and there's a magic for South Americans as well. Just the very word Wembley. I'll just give you an example. And Colombia, it is now what, 1988? How many years ago is that? It's 30 years. Colombia went to come and they played a friendly at Wembley in 1988. It was the first time they'd ever been. They played wonderfully well. They got a 1-1 draw. They played superbly, and that is seen as the moment when Colombian football came of age. And part of that, it's not only the performance, it's not only the score, it's where it happened. And it still retains some of that magic for me, which is why I was quite tempted and kind of against the privatised version. I haven't really gone into the arguments, and as Mark was saying, this has been reported, but it's not really the priority with the focus on English football here. What surprised me a little bit about what Mark had just said is, on the one hand, they're having lots and lots of events. These 2010 stadiums that were built in South Africa, and on the other hand, the pitch is in immaculate condition. Because when we have events on the stadium for the 2014 World Cup, they're usually blamed for the pitches being in poor condition. So I'm very surprised that South Africa is able to square this, to both use the stadium for events and to keep the pitch good.
Yeah, what's happened on the few occasions, big mega things like, I remember a U2 concert, and I think it was a band who I can't remember now, but on those occasions, because of, you know, there were so many people on the surface, and it was a rainy night. I think the Rolling Stones was the other one. It was in the contract that they resurfaced it, which they did very quickly thereafter, and then sort of gave the stadium 3 weeks or so of no activity and let that new pitch settle. But that's been written in that you're going to have a mega thing like a pop concert. You're going to have people actually inflicting damage on the pitch itself, not just using the other facility. Then you pay for a relay of the pitch.
Yeah, like a complete unknown.
Exactly.
We've had lots of chats about player management. When it comes to pointed out that, of course, Ruud Gullit was player manager for Chelsea.